Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are tying a steelhead stonefly nymph for the springtime. We're tying this on a number 10 nymph hook, and we have a little tungsten bead for weight in the front. We're going to be using some 6/0 black thread, but 8/0 will work good. And we're just going to tie that in towards the rear. We want to wind that back towards about just past the hook point. Now we're tying in some black goose biots at the back, and a lot of people have some trouble with it separating. So a little trick. Now you can either use thread or just a little piece of black dubbing. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to build a little wedge at the back here so the goose biots will separate around them. Okay, now what we want to do is grab your goose biots there in black and tie that in towards the rear. And grab your second one. Some people tie them in at the same time. I like to do it one at a time. And as you can see, with that wedge, it does separate those goose biots very nicely. Okay. So we just want to secure those biots in. Now we're going to be, for the ribbing, we're going to be using some French gold tinsel. I use a medium here. We're just going to tie that in. Wind it back. Now for the body, where you're using some black ice dub, and we're just going to put that on our thread. And we're just going to build a body here. I love using ice dub for most of my dubbing uses on flies, just because it sparkles, it gives it a lot of action, it's very buggy looking, as you can see. But the pieces do come out. And we're just going to tie in a little bit more here. That looks good. Now we're going to wrap our ribbing forward. Tie that off. Looks good. Now for the wing case, we are going to be using some thin skin in black, which we'll be folding over 3 times. So you just want to tie that in here. Now what I like to do with this thin skin before I tie it in is to cut the tip in a little triangle. It's a lot easier to tie in. Okay. And we're going to tie that in right at the front there and secure it back. Now as you're winding it back, keep moving it forward to see where the wing case is going to be. Okay. And that looks about right there. And we're just going to, that looks good right there. So now for the thorax, underneath the wing case, we're going to be using some purple ice dub. This stuff is great. the purple part is which makes this that nice steelhead fly. But you know what, this would work for regular trout, rainbow trout, brown trout. But the steelhead seem to like it in this larger size in the springtime. You can dead drift this. You can even swing this fly, and steelhead will take it underneath a log. Okay. And we're just building that nice thorax up. We're really giving it that buggy look. Now we are going to wind this thread back, so I just put in a little bit of ice dub going back to where you want about the wing case to start. Now we're going to pull the thin skin forward, and we're going to just push it back a bit, as you can see, and we're going to pinch it and tie it off there. And you can see how that is going to look. Now we'll take our thread forward, and we'll do it again. When you fold this one back, go about half over the one at the back, and I'll show you that. About like that. And we are going to wind our thread forward, and now we're going to fold that for the last time, the third time, right behind the bead, and secure that in. Now we'll take care of the excess. Now when you fold it back, give it one wrap just to secure it in, and it also makes it easier to cut off the excess. Now don't worry too much about what you leave behind. We will be covering that up with a little bit more dubbing. But now we are going to put in some more goose bites for the antenna in the front. Okay. Now we want this splayed out, moving forward and down, not to the side. Okay. And you want that about the same thick length as the tail. Okay, and we'll add in another piece there, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's splayed out. So it's going to look something like that. And we'll cut off the excess here. And again, don't worry about how much you cut off or how much you can get out, because we will be covering that with a little piece of dubbing. A couple more wraps to secure it in. And just grab a little bit more of that ice dub. Okay. Couple wraps around, and we'll finish that off with a whip finish. Now if you have a dubbing brush or any sort of brush, what you want to do is just on the purple ice dub, kind of want to just get some of that ice dubbing out. Gives it that really good buggy look. And if you pull too much out, you can always clip it, which is good. And a couple of drops of head cement just where you put the last piece of dubbing. It'll soak through towards the thread. And there you have it. There's your steelhead stonefly nymph for springtime. Hope you enjoyed that. and we'll see you next time.